Hello there everybody, how's it going? This is Matt Tomato right here, hope you're all well. Welcome back to Prison Architect. We are building up the minimum security female prison over here, where we're hoping that these girls are not going to decide to dig their way out. But we know that that's inevitable, because that's what minimum security people tend to do. They like to try and dig their way out, because they're under minimum security, so they think they're able to do those sorts of things, when they really aren't. Also, normal, maximum, things like that tend to like kicking off, as opposed to... They prefer to kick off instead. Right, is this done now? What are you doing? Oh, there's a building frame here. Okay, that's fair enough. There we go, excellent. Right, so let's get the electricity in here. Let's just stretch it this way, because this is actually going to be the path. Eventually that's going to be a wall. So, and what we can do is actually now, that door we can dismantle. And we can get rid of that piece of wall, because that's going to be the pathway. We're just going to have that as a path. Now it is an indoor path, so but that's okay. And then we're going to build our solitary over here. So materials. Yeah, that'll basically, we'll carry that on in a minute, but we only need a couple of. So, toilet. I always like to find a toilet in solitary, because that can lead to some serious rioting. That can. See, that can be quite big, actually. We can make a relatively big solitary here. That door, yeah, that's actually going to be okay. So you're going to be able to build those. So rooms, we'll hit solitary. There, there, and there. And of course the only thing is it needs to be enclosed. Now of course you can just build like a standard door here, that'll be okay. Usually if you've been into solitary then obviously you're in trouble. So the best door to build is the solitary door. But I'd only like to build that once everything's in place here. Because there's still some pipe work to be done here and things like that. So what I might do is build a large pipe along here, and that will eventually carry on. And we'll build that up there like that. Now, of course, these toilets all need pipes, so let's do this. This is the cheapest way of doing it, I think. And then we can do the same on the other side as well. And prisoners can dig their way through small pipes, but it takes them longer. So there's a better chance of finding out what they're up to. Let's go and search them toilets again. Because they're right at the edge here. It wouldn't take a lot to... Right now, because there is like stuff here. It's like mess though. Yeah, it's just mess. Alright, okay, fair enough. But it's always good to keep checking. Keep checking those toilets. Right, those, they're actually done now. Yeah, you're all watered up. Fantastic. So let's pick out the objects, grab the solitary door, and put those in over there. Now the solitary door can only be unlocked by guards, so if the workman like him gets stuck in there, then that's going to be annoying. But what we can do is, therefore, that gives us our solitary. So this poor Sadie over here can be escorted over there. And she can actually use that now. There we go. So she can now be taken over to this solitary, because that is now active. There we go. So she can serve that, and then she can go and join the rest of the prisoners once again. That should be enough solitary for now, but I think later on we might need more. Right, okay, yeah, we will want a guard deployed in there pretty soon. 7 guards for 8 prisoners, that's not too bad. Okay, so you might kick off in there, because you've been alone in... Right, you just done a poo, but... you might kick off a little bit, because obviously you're going to be devoid of lots of things for a long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set some deployments here. So staff only, obviously, this area here. I can't currently set the reception to staff only because they have to walk through there to get to other things, so I can't actually do that at the moment. But eventually we will want to do that, and I'll set that area to staff only as well. So obviously we don't want any prisoners going in there, and if prisoners do happen to sneak their way in there, we can actually, an alarm will go off and the guards will be alerted, so that's a good idea. You just walked through that wall! You sneaky rotter! How did you do that, please? Right. So the final thing to complete the jails here, or the cells rather, is to put a jail door on, and then you can assign them as cells, and then you can intake some prisoners. So let's do it with these, because these cells are obviously complete. Decided not to put some bookshelves in the end. If we had a little bit more cash, then I might have done. They're cheap enough though, but right, those cells aren't quite finished yet, so we'll wait. There's actually some bits and bobs in there. The cells that are finished, I'll put a jail door on. The ones that aren't finished, then I won't yet. So these cells are technically ready. We just need to assign them as cells, and then of course, as soon as we assign them as cells, these guys in the holding here, or these girls rather, can actually go over there into their own cells at that point. Right, that one is also done, so that's good. Just to get the pipes and things like that. Cool. You're done. You're done, and you're done. Okay, so all of these cells are now ready. So we can assign this as a room now. Oh, family cell. Where your prisoners live if they have babies. Interesting. That is a unique thing, and there's also a nursery. Ooh, unique thing for the female prisons, I think. Right, so shower. At the top, obviously. And, yeah, individual cells. So let's assign all of those to be cells, all of these, and all of these, and bam, grant completion. So at this point then, I obviously want to assign probably 2 guards in there. Actually, no. We can just go for guard patrol instead. No. Just get me 2 guards in there. That's all I want. And we can actually no longer lock these open here, so we can get 2 guards deployed in there. Thank you. And we can then, because this is eventually going to become, this should become all one block, but there's a little bit of a glitch there, I think. And so as a result, we are going to need to hire some more guards. There we go. And now we have a large capacity here. So in the next day, we can go to our intake. And let's grab 15. That'll do for now. Don't take too many, because that'll mean we'll have to hire too many guards. Although we could just take, you know what, let's just take 20. Screw it. 20. Bam. So, they all have assigned cells. We have the holding cell for overflow, so that's okay. So these guys now have privacy, a little bit of freedom maybe, and stuff like that. You are in free time at the moment, so you can actually do what the hell you want. But none of them actually are. Okay, right. So eventually this will probably be a massive line of solitary. That's what I'm probably thinking here. But now we might want to start building some stuff that maybe satisfies extra needs. So, for instance, we do have the inmate health and well-being grant over here, so we'll probably want to do that. And I'm also going to pick up the visitation one, so that's visitation and common room. And just yeah, if we had a little bit more money, I might pick up one of the investment programs, which might be nice. But let's go ahead and pick up, or rather build, a infirmary. So we'll build it off of this particular. So this will be a large sort of corridor that runs up here, and then we'll build lots of different things along here that prisoners can use. And we'll do the same down here. We'll probably have another corridor runs down here. We'll have other things because we'll have another cell block in here. So, so let's say the infirmary doesn't have to be that big, but what we can do is we can build like a long room here. Like we can have it. Actually, no, hang on. Because then we can build our infirmary and common room in the same sort of area. We'll have quite a big common room, I reckon. We'll probably have another one down here as well, so then we can split up the prisoners So if we have a big cell block down here, then obviously we can say, well, they can be assigned to go into this area. So over here we might have another canteen. The canteen and kitchen, because otherwise we'll have everybody piling into the same place, and that's so bad. So that's okay. But the other thing is, by building around here as well, we're actually increasing the amount of solid ground, or rather buildings and foundations that prisoners have to dig through to get out. And so that makes it more likely for us to discover these things. So no one currently in solitary. So 3 families currently waiting to visit, and we have 1 prisoner up for parole. Now we might want to get the parole set up pretty early here, because obviously the early release prisoners can give you lots of money in the long term, which is fantastic. Probably have to rebuild this wall, I'm reckoning. Either that or we'll need some different stuff here. Get that built as well. Then we can get more solitary in. But yeah, the medical ward will be nice, and a couple of doctors. Then we can start running the pharmaceutical drug program if we have any particular prisoners that have that problem. Yeah, there's needs. Okay, so obviously sleep is being satisfied. Regime, yeah, everything's okay there. Okay, so no one's actually interested in the drug treatment at the moment, but there's 1 interested in the alcoholic thing, and 1 interested in spiritual guidance. Okay, so I'll probably set up a chapel for that at some point. But, okay, excellent. Right, so this is now done. Gonna want to demolish that there as well. Okay, so we're all complete here. So obviously we want an entrance for that. We don't need too big an infirmary. It's actually quite a small common room, that, at the moment. That's pretty small. We'll want to probably extend that at a later date. We are going to want to demolish that, though. Right, we'll just do that for now. That'll be fine. And then we're going to want a standard door over here, because that is the common room, so prisoners can just go in and out of there. And then we'll have the staff door there for the infirmary. And we also are going to want the electricity in here. Now, it's actually not too bad at the moment, but we'll extend a little bit of the cable work there. So rooms, infirmary. So it doesn't have to be too big, because we're not going to have too many problems with, or I'm doubting we'll have too many problems with sick prisoners or things like that. But let's build 2 beds. We can always build more if we want, if we get more prisoners interested in the drug programs. We'll put in some radios as well for people to listen to if they're particularly ill. Now, usually the only reason people end up in the infirmary is after they've been in a fight. Or if they're doing one of the drug programs. Actually, I've changed my mind here. I'm not sure that this should be the common room. I'm thinking this should be a staff room. So let's dismantle that door. I'm thinking the common room next to the solitary is not the best idea. I think the common room should be somewhere else. So once he's dismantled, there we go. So let's put a staff door in there. And let's get a staff room going, because our guys are pretty knackered. So wide sofa and drinks machine. Okay. What? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that'll do. A couple of sofas. And let's search this one up. Drinks machine. There we go. We only need the 1. That'll do. That'll be good. Okay, so they're now all resting in there. That's fantastic. And we do need to assign a little bit more solitary here. We currently don't really need to build that up as such, though. So, because we maybe when these prisoners arrive, we might actually want to do that. Because if they come in with contraband, then they immediately get sent to solitary. So that might be a better idea. get that small pipe extended over that way as well. Excellent, okay. Now there is actually, when I've been playing recently, there's actually been a bit of a glitch with the staff room, which whinges about the canteen. It's a bit odd, I don't quite know. Right, we're actually operating at a loss right now. Hiring more guards is not usually a good idea to do that, but because we have this massive intake coming in, that's going to change, so we should be operating at a profit at that point. Because you get a certain amount of money for the prisoner intake, but you also get money for actually having them in your prison in the first place. That's what the daily cash flow is if you have prisoners in your prison. There we go, massive prisoner intake. So now we all of a sudden have a huge amount of prisoners. Or not huge, but big enough. So we're going to want to hire some more guards. So we can do that. Here we go, big amount of prisoners coming in. That's about right for that canteen. 28 prisoners. So we go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Oh no, 32, 36. Yeah, it'd be pretty cramped. But this canteen might not be able to serve too many more people here. Yeah, look at that. Massive inflow now. 28 to 28. Fantastic. We might want to build a protective custody zone, because obviously we have some snitches and things like that. Who may be started on. Maybe. Where is Solitary Door? There we go. There we go, let's go with that. So yeah, this currently says there are no prisoners assigned to eat at this canteen. Well, that's a bit interesting because it's not a canteen, it's a staff room. The thing is, the staff room still functions as a staff room. It just has that glitch there. I don't know why. Right, some drugs have been found. Okay. So obviously, there we go. These guys all need to be in cells. Bit cramped. Bit of trouble. A little bit of a danger level there, but it's okay. They're all being escorted to their cells, so it's all right. Right, anything useful that we might want to pick up here? See, groundskeeping is a nice one. Prison policy is interesting. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up intelligence, surveillance, and probably dogs. Dogs. I love dogs. Because what you can do with dogs is you can patrol dogs around the outside of buildings, and they can actually detect tunnels. They can pick up tunnels, so if any prisoners are digging out here at any particular time, then the dog might be able to pick up on it before it happens, and they'll tell you, they'll alert you to the possibility of a tunnel. So, ooh, there's actually a lack of power there for some reason. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but oh, there's meant to be a light there. I'll just cancel that. But we'll extend the power to there because that's a bit weird. I'm actually going to conduct. Ooh, what? 2 prisoners unable to be assigned to a cell. Why? We got 28 to 28. Seven. Oh, you have a baby! Oh my god, you have babies. Right, okay. So what we might actually therefore want to do is rooms. So family cell has to be 4x4. Okay. How are we going to do this then? Let's see. Because that's 3x3. So I should have thought about that. What does it need? Bed, toilet, crib, and shower head. Right, so it has to be self-sustaining. Right, that's fair enough. So we could do that back here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's perfect. Can you believe that? Look at that. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in. Oh, hang on. Whoa. How many do we want to build here? So 1, 2, 3. So it needs to be. Sorry, 4x4. Okay. So materials. Four there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that is absolutely perfect. Can you believe that? Absolutely mint. Right, so let's do that. Now, of course, we will need to build a pathway that extends around here so that they can actually access these. But what I might do is, do I extend the pathway around the back? I'm not sure. Okay, and of course we will also need to build a nursery. Not sure where I'm going to put that. I might put that up in... Nah, because this is more of a staff sort of area. I've got cells here, but... Yeah, it's a bit awkward. It's actually a bit awkward. That's probably a bad place for those initially. Then if we build another canteen over here, then it might actually be different. Might actually be okay. Because then we can have a pathway along there. That might actually be a good place. And a common room down here or something, I'm not sure. It's a food tray. Okay. Yeah, because we're going to want to do that. We're going to want a pathway along here that comes around here. What was I going to do? Yes, I was actually going to conduct a search of the toilets here. Because that could be a bit problematic if people start digging tunnels. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's going on so far, which is good. Let's put in a couple of jail doors there. Materials. Excellent. Close that in. Temporarily we can lock these open. Temporarily, anyway. There we go, like that. Now, once that's filled in, which it just has been, I can now destroy those two pieces of wall, and that way they can walk in this way. So that'll be good. Okay, so we didn't find any tunnels. That's good. Right, lock open. Utilities, electrical cable. Run this down here, I suppose. There we go, like that. And we'll probably need some water. We'll need maybe some water pipes to come along here as well. How are we doing for monies? Ooh, a little bit stretched. Do that. And we'll see what we can do. So... rooms, family cell, right, enclosed, bed, toilet, crib, and shower head. Okay. So we'll put the toilet here. Toilet. And we'll have the bed under there, like that. Shower head. Next to the toilet, I suppose. And of course we will need to put drains underneath those, because otherwise it will leak everywhere. And then we need crib. How big is that? Oh, okay, that's not too bad. What the hell? Oh, I see. Okay. So we'll put that over in the corner. Like that. Cool. Okay, so those are family cells. Now I wish it would actually tell you like family cells here, unless it maybe it does when they're actually complete. I don't know. I'm not actually sure. But what I'm going to do is, because we're a little bit tight on money, let's go ahead and hire our two doctors here. And one of them I'm actually going to fire, but that completes the grant, so you get the grant payment there. So we do need to build the visitation and stuff like that. That's important. But what I do want to do is take on another grant. The cell block B is pretty good. I think we're going to pick that one up. And pick up staff well-being as well. So then we can try and ensure that none of our staff are exhausted. That's all we have to do. As well as 5 guards without duties, but that's okay. We're working on that. So that might be a good one to pick up. Yeah, see, this is already pretty crowded. Even with that cell block. So I was thinking about building another cell block here, but I'm not sure. Excellente! Grant completed. That was the staff wellbeing one, so that's given us a big amount of money to play with, which is nice. I might actually want to set up our visitation and parole first. It's going to be a better idea, I think. Right, we do not want to take in 20 prisoners here. Definitely do not want to do that. Right, so... obviously the shower's going to be there as well, isn't it? So we need to build an extra bit of pipe there. Might hire a couple of extra guards as well. Could be a good idea. Right, we're going okay though. It's not too bad. Should be enough solitary. And I might actually go and pick one of these. So we're currently working on the dogs. I'm going to pick up education, prison labour and groundskeeping I'm going to pick up. And I might also pick up micromanagement. Prison policy as well. Let's just queue those up there. That'll be good because we have quite a bit of money kicking around. So that's going to be a good thing to do. Right, so that bed's okay. The crib. There are no nurseries accessible for this cell. Okay, right. So room nursery. What do we need in there? Serving table. Ah, right. So the nursery actually has to be sort of attached to the kitchen a little bit. So this is where we might want to build another kitchen here, and then a nursery next door, along with a canteen. So give it another canteen, but then also build a nursery attached to it as well. I reckon that's a good idea. Okay, fair. So we're still building this up here. Is there actually a kid in there? Yeah, there is. Ha! Oh yes. Okay, she's actually moved into this. So there we go. Parent capacity. Cool. Okay. So can we bring in specific, like, can we tell them that they have parents or not? I don't think we can. Yeah, family cells are not counted, which is mad. Because I like to just be able to potentially, because we're going to have to work around that, obviously. So actually keeping the holding cell is going to be a very good idea. Because they're going to be able to kick around in the holding cell for a little while. Before we assign it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That's going to be very difficult to follow, but we need to. Okay, so we won't actually lock that open anymore. So obviously these are going to be filled in pretty soon. So we need another canteen then, with a nursery attached. So let's do something like that. And we'll obviously put in, when that's built, we'll put in some doors. So we'll have a canteen, kitchen at the back, and then over here we'll have a small nursery. That'll be quite good actually, I reckon. Okay, excellent. Yeah, so shared capacity 28. Right. Minimum security 28, shared capacity, and then parent capacity 3. Okay. See, we could bring in 3 prisoners, but then it's like, well, maybe they could stay in the holding cell, I suppose. Let's bring in 3. They could stay in the holding cell, and then if they happen to have kids, then they can go into the this area here. Might put a guard in here. Put a guard patrol there, so that I can see what's going on inside those cells. Yeah, because she's just emerged, and I'm like, hang on. Right, that looks all done. So objects, and a couple of doors there. So this is going to be very different to what I was planning, because I forgot about the idea that you have babies when you have a female prison. Forgot about that. Right, but I'm going to end this episode right here. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. If you like Prison Architect, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. But now that's it, though. See you later, guys, and join me next time for our minimum security female prison with myself, Matt the Tomato. See you later, guys.